Is bigger better? Is it always better? In real estate, is bigger always better? My name is Kris Krohn, and today we're gonna talk about the biggest, baddest real estate out there.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
You know, there's this idea in real estate that you need to graduate from small-time real estate to big-time real estate, and that bigger is ultimately better. I want to put that on trial today, and I want to actually take a look at that and see if that is in fact true. In fact, I created a little graphic for us here. There are some people that say, Kris, I got myself into a trailer park because I could buy myself a trailer for something super cheap. Maybe you bought a trailer for $10 or $20 or $30,000, and it's the cheapest form of real estate that you're aware of. But from there you might say, you know what, I got tired of some of the problems that came with managing in a trailer park. So I eventually went on to doing SFH, single family homes. You'll see that abbreviation everywhere. And you're thinking to yourself, you know, I went from trailers to single family homes. I think I'm ready for multifamily, or maybe apartments, condos, or maybe something bigger. Maybe I'm ready to move on to commercial. And there's this assumption that people have that bigger is better, when actually what they're saying is bigger is easier. And here's what I actually mean by easy. What do you think's harder? Managing 20 single family homes or managing one 20-unit apartment complex? The assumption is that the apartment complex would actually be easier. But I'm going to put that on trial as well today as well. Now, since I've done thousands of single family homes and I clearly have a bias, I'm going to share with you why, and ultimately I'm going to share with you the math between the four equalizers. And what I mean by equalizers are the four things that you need to consider when evaluating any investment in the game of real estate. Because they're not all created equal, and you have to ask, well, how should I judge which one of these is actually best? And I want to share some ideas with you. Okay, so the first equalizer that I want to share with you is that you have to ask this question. What is the time commitment of this real estate? Some real estate is active and some real estate is passive. Passive means you don't have to do anything, it works for you. Active means that it's actually a job. Like if you flip a property, someone has to drive to Home Depot and get materials and fix this thing up and put it on the market. It's a job. You can put hundreds of hours into doing a remodel on a house and then selling it versus buying a home and letting it be actually a very passive experience. So between the two, guess what I'm more interested in? You guessed it. I value my time, right? I value God, my family, and time. Those are my three biggest priorities in life. And they come, notice that money isn't one of the top three priorities because time is actually the ultimate judge of where my money is good to place it or not. The second ultimate equalizer that I want to talk about is effort. Some things take a lot of work and effort, and some things are super easy. And one of the things that I've learned in life is that if you take a strategy that is complex, you create more opportunities for breakdown and for things not to work. So what you're looking for is parsimony, simplicity. You're looking for something where there's fewer moving pieces and less can go wrong. So that's important to me. The third equalizer that I ultimately look at is risk. I can show you a really high return, but if I pair it up with a really high risk, guess what? We normally assume that a high ROI comes with a high risk. Making a lot of money must be very, very risky. This is not true. This is sometimes true. And so you can't make an assumption that it is that way. And that's why I want to put this fourth one up here, which is, I want to call it profit. And when we take a look at profit, this is ultimately defined by three letters: ROI, return on investment. This is the ultimate equalizer spread across the board of all investments. We can't just look at how profitable something is because it might take too much time, or it might take too much effort, or it might take too much risk. These things are all relative to each other. So I'm actually looking for the, listen up, the highest ROI relevant to the least time, the least effort, and the least risk. Which means at the end of the day, someone else is going to claim their strategy is better than mine because they value things that are different than me. I'm sharing with you what I value. And my strategy is based on highest ROI with least time, effort, and risk. So at the end of the day, what does that mean? I'm going to put it up here for you. If you're brand new to the game of real estate, I would only do a couple of things if I were you. Number one, I would get into single family homes for a couple of reasons. One, 70% of all Americans currently own versus rent. So it is the biggest sector in all of real estate. It's where people want to be. It's part of the American dream. Millennials actually, surprise, surprise, don't want what our parents wanted. They're interested in mobility and freedom, and they're willing to pay rent versus actually strive for owning something. That actually means that this sector just became hotter for investment. So the next decade is super exciting. Number two, I look at entry level. And entry level means a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. And part of this is for safety. You see, when you take a look at all single family homes, where's the greatest demand? Is it for a 2-bedroom home or a 4-bedroom home? Neither. It's a 3-bedroom home. And a 3-bedroom home has significantly greater value and price than a 2-bedroom home. So 3 is my minimum, and I usually don't go above 4 because guess what? We're not trying to house large families because that's not the majority demographic. We're trying to cater to the masses. Number 3, I ask myself, how do I stay below the median? What that means is that single family homes in one market in San Francisco might be $1 million. Single family homes in New York might be $1.2 million. Single family homes in Florida might be $220,000. Single family homes in Tennessee might be $120,000. The national median's around $250,000. I want to be below that. Why? This is about protection from the market coming back down. So when the market course corrects, guess what we want? We don't want our real estate values to be attacked. $1 million home in a recession becomes a $500,000 home. But a $150,000 home becomes $140,000 home or stays the same. And that's giving you an example that you have way more insulation in the market. So what I do is I take these 3 things and what I do is I do a short-term strategy of buy and hold. And that means that I'm going to hold the home for 5, 6, 7 years. I'm going to take the very best profits out of it. I've written books about this stuff. But when we talk about bigger not being better, I can't get bigger real estate, commercial real estate, to consistently produce what I'm actually getting in single family. This document shows my last 4,000 deals and a 25% annual ROI. I can't get condos to do that. I can't get a lot of my build projects. And if I find an occasional project to do it, because I can't duplicate that over and over again, it's risky because it means that I'm going into an area where I'm not going to do a high degree of volume. So I wanted to break that down for you because when people are saying, well, Kris, why single family home? Why not commercial? Why not this? Why not multifamily? I'm not saying they're bad. I'm basically saying, don't get attached to real estate. Get attached to the formula. What will make you the most money and provide value for people with the least time, effort, and risk? So I've made my claim on what that looks like. So there's a couple things you can do with that. The first one is I wrote a book showing you how you can make $5,000 in the next 30 days leveraging this strategy in your backyard. This book, I actually give it away to people for free. You cover the shipping on it, and basically I send the book out to you, and you start your real estate adventure. So that's a tool that I'm giving you so that you can just go into the marketplace and start making it happen. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you guys appreciated today's video. Ring that bell so I can notify you every day about the next video. Certainly subscribe because that's part of that notification process. But if you liked today's video, I would love it if you'd smash it with the big thumbs up. Tells YouTube to pay attention and that they should be promoting this video. Helps me get the message out there to more people. Other than that, get your hands on a free copy of my book and I will see you on tomorrow's video.